So, hi Manas, welcome to GHRC Know Your Member Talk Show. Guys, today we have Manas Dasgupta, a leading voice on LinkedIn, especially on generative AI space. So, Manas, we see very active on LinkedIn, particularly on generative AI. So, what's been keeping you busy all these days?
Right. So, right at this moment, I am very busy along with my partner in crime, Richa Sanna, and my entire team
Okay.
in preparing for BTS 24, which is Bangalore Tech Summit 2024. So, this is one of the largest tech summits in India, and of course, the largest tech summit in Karnataka. And glad to share with our viewers that we are launching two of our generative AI products or generative AI enabled products in BTS 24 in another 3 or 4 days time. So these two products are our full-fledged or end-to-end recruitment platform, as well as our assessment suite, which is a comprehensive generative AI-enabled assessment suite. So the entire team is very excited. They are all preparing for our BTS journey in the next 3 or 4 days, coming days. The other thing which is keeping us busy is also training and consulting on generative AI with a lot of companies. We do a lot of training workshops for people from different corporates. Generative AI is coming up big time. It's there are lots of opportunities for companies, individuals to learn and increase their productivity. And we are trying to support organizations and individuals in kind of helping them creating awareness and training on individual productivity and strategic improvement at organization level as well.
Yeah. So, that's exciting. Can you tell us a little bit more about these new products?
Okay, so as I said that the launch of our two products, the assessment platform and the recruitment platform at BTS 24 is keeping us busy nowadays. And talking about these two products, again, that excites us that at the age of generative AI today, both of these products are heavily infused with the generative AI features. I would like to talk about our assessment platform to start with. We have created interview agents. So, for instance, you say, think about an interviewer. The interviewer will go in and take an interview. We have just created an AI agent which would replace the actual interviewer. So, the interviewer agent will be given a JD, a resume, and it will be scheduled. The interview agent will, at that point of time, take an interview of the candidate, just like an human interviewer. So we are creating those AI agents. We are having a full suite of assessments in our platform. For instance, we have the agents have a web-based version, and agents can have a caller-based version as well. We have a full psychometric suite. We have a coding platform, coding assessment platform, which is also GenAI enabled or GenAI driven. There are other features like we've got a large assessment suite. We have the ability to create tests and questions in the platform automatically rather than manually scouting for questions and manually creating questions on any subject. We have GenAI enabled features by which the user will be able to create tests automatically rather than manually doing it. Right. So these are some of the key features of our assessment platform. And talking about our recruitment platform, which is also a very heavy end-to-end suite of features in the recruitment space, starting from job requisition to job posting to having a branded job portal for the company, user company. We have all the way to offer management, background verification management, to onboarding management, which is a full feature end-to-end recruitment platform, so to say. So we are very excited. We want to showcase this in BTS, and yeah, the team is working towards it.
Yeah. We are more curious about these AI agents. Like, how exactly do they work? Can you explain?
Yes, of course. So what I'll do is I will share an image, and with that image, I'm going to explain to you
Okay.
how they work.
Yeah.
Give me a moment.
Yeah.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
All right. So this is a diagrammatic representation of the interview agent that we have created. So again, just take the analogy of the human interviewer. So when
Hmm.
you ask an interviewer in an organization to take an interview, what are the inputs that the interviewer needs to conduct the interview of a candidate? The interviewer needs the job description, the interviewer needs the candidate's resume, and the
Hmm.
interviewer needs the goals of the interview. That means what do we want to achieve out of the interview? So these are the three key inputs. So on the left hand side, these are the inputs that are given to the interview agent. We create the agent in the system, we schedule the image agent in the system, and then based on whether it's a caller agent or a web-based agent, the interview agent is going to, so if it is a caller agent, the interview agent is going to call the candidate. If it is a web-based agent, then the candidate has to invoke the UI based on a link that is sent to the interviewer. Then the questions are going to be asked to the candidate, and based on the candidate's answer, the follow-up questions are going to be created automatically on the fly by the interview agent. All right. So that's same for both the caller agent as well as the web-based agent. So candidate gives
Hmm.
answers, interview agent creates follow-up questions on the fly, and it complies to the interview instructions. So at the end, what happens is that the interview is taken, the interview is then submitted by the, when the interview is complete, and for the caller, the call is complete, or in the web-based, the interview is submitted by the candidate. There is another GenAI agent at the background that is going to evaluate the answers given by the candidate, and it'll score them.
Okay.
And when multiple candidates interviews are taken,
Hmm.
the agent, there is another part of the agent, the last part of the agent, that agent is also going to recommend the best candidate or the candidates in ranked order based on their performance in the interview, and that is going to be the recommendation, the final recommendation to the recruitment team. So this is going to be the working of the agent in the platform, in our assessment platform. So hope that answers your question.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So you are clearly been working with generative AI for quite a while. If someone new to this field, can anyone learn it?
Absolutely. Generative AI, see, there are different levels. So let's say,
Hmm.
for instance, we work in the HR. I mean, we have multiple companies. We have a recruitment company, we have a training company, we have a product development company. So we want to be a full service HR solutions and products and services company, right? Now, we have developers, GenAI developers, and we also have recruiters. Now, would I expect the recruiters to learn GenAI development? No. So for GenAI, learning has different meanings for different role holders, and it has different meanings for different levels of role holders. So for instance, for a HR person, it is important to understand what is it that GenAI offers to me. Now, for an individual junior to mid-level person, professional, HR professional, you would need to understand what features of GenAI help you do your job better and faster. Okay, improve the quality and help you conduct your job in a much faster way, right? For a senior leadership person, it is important for them to understand what features of GenAI are there which I can implement in my organization, which is going to improve the productivity of my department or my organization. So there are strategic level learning and there are individual productivity level learning. right? And we are talking about, so when we are talking about individual level learning, it comprises of learning the AI tools and understanding how they are going to be able to help you, let's say, create a JD faster. Okay, so instead of writing a JD, how do I create a JD in a proper manner by giving a simple input to the generative AI? Or for that matter, how do I create an employee communications document? Or for that matter, how do I create an employee policy document? Or how do I create an employee FAQ document for a particular? Or for that matter, how do I create a little automation, which is going to be a chatbot where I can, using which I can find out answers from a huge document, huge employee policy document in a much quicker fashion, right? So all these things are helpful in an individual productivity improvement aspect. For Asia professional who are leaders, they need to understand, how do I find out opportunities using GenAI to improve the performance of my team? What kind of automations can be created easily using little or no IT intervention, IT department intervention, and within a minimum budget for my organization? So these are some of the things that people need to focus on learning. And of course, learning is not going to be difficult. I mean, it probably needs a bit of handholding at the beginning, but after that, once you have the direction as to how to learn, what to learn, and where to look for information, then it's all going to be easy.
Okay. As a professionals, we are always looking for ways to boost our productivity. So, what tips would you give us on using generative AI to improve our daily works?
Right. So, first of all,
Hmm.
I heard mixed responses from the organizations in terms of their appetite to get into generative AI. There are multiple different hindrances that I see. One is lethargy towards change. I mean, this is universal. I mean, be it generative AI or whatever new thing that comes in, an organization at the beginning is lethargic to kind of bring up those changes in their organization. Now, that is an universal trait. It's no different in generative AI. In um, advocacy on this particular aspect, I would say that generative AI holds huge amount of opportunities for productivity improvement. Now, I do primarily two things. Number one, product development, and the number two, which is technology. And number two, I do a lot of training. Okay, these are two of my main primary jobs, you can say. Now, the technology side, which is with developers, I don't write code uh, by myself, but I lead them and direct them as to what to do, how to do, what features to include, how to set up the architecture, etc., etc. Now, while doing that, generative AI, usage of generative AI eases our job multifold. Developers used to create code manually. Now developers do not create code manually. Now, a few days back, there was a statement by Google's CEO saying that 25% of Google's code are now written by AI. And I think that is low, right? In ideal state, a much higher percentage of code should be now written by developers using AI in an automated fashion, right? When we create the architectures of our technology products, we take the help of generative AI to come up with the architecture which are the best suited for our applications. And that also is done by the use of GenAI, right? So anything that needs knowledge can be easily attained by using generative AI. On the other hand, the other job that I do, which is training. Now, training involves creating a lot of training content, strategy, and approaches to deliver those training in a most effective manner. Now, for that, I use ChatGPT and other tools of generative AI quite a bit. And the result is that I am able to deliver the trainings or courses or authorship of video courses, for instance, which is one of my main things, in a much faster way. So let's say, for instance, if I create a course manually, and if it takes me, let's say, 1 month, the same course I can create now using generative AI tools in probably 7 to 10 days, right? That is the speed that it helps me attain. And the quality of the content in my training courses are much, much better than if I would have created them manually, right? So that is only my domain that I have mentioned. Similarly, for HR domain, every aspect of HR, every process area of HR would be helped if generative AI tools are used effectively. So that lethargy, organizational lethargy, has to be alleviated by the lure or the benefit that generative AI can bring in terms of productivity and quality of outcome that the divisions or individuals are coming up with, right? So, and the other hindrance that I see from the organization is the data privacy aspects. The data privacy aspects, in the sense, is that when we are using the fear in the minds of individuals or leaders is that if I am using generative AI within my organization, using my organization's data, then probably this data is ingested by the generative AI tools and they may surface elsewhere. There are certain, and again, this fears are somewhat legitimate, mostly not valid. There are few simple principles that we can follow, which will alleviate this fear as well, the data privacy fear as well. There are simple principles, simple controls that we can follow, by which we can ensure that the data that we are using with generative AI tools like ChatGPT or Google Gemini or Anthropic Claude, etc., are not ingesting our data. So some of those controls are there in the tools, and some of those controls are there in our hands in terms of choosing what data we use and how do we use when we are using generative AI tools.
Yeah, that's fantastic advice. Finally, how do you see yourself contributing to GHRC community?
All right. So we are. I mean, me and my colleague partner in our organization, Richa, we are heavily involved in multiple different forums and mostly HR forums, and we both of us are always willing to contribute to the community in whatever way we can. And being a user and tinkerer of generative AI, we understand that there is a lot of interest and a lot of apprehensions at the same time in the organization's minds in terms of usage of generative AI. And our promise is that in any manner that we can help the community in alleviating these fears, helping them understand generative AI and how to use generative AI to boost their productivity, not always on commercial basis, but also on a kind of voluntary basis. So we are absolutely fine, absolutely always available to help people out, help organizations out.
Okay. Well, I'm done with my questions. Before we warm up, is there anything else you would like to share that I might have missed?
No, I think we've covered a lot of things. And again, my advice to organizations and all our viewers is that generative AI, and I'm very passionate about generative AI as a new technology. My advice to all our viewers and organizations are that please adopt this new technology, not because it's a fad. There were a lot of technologies that came and didn't get the right adoption, given the promise, against the promise that they have shown, like say for instance blockchain or I don't know, metaverse, etc., etc. Some of those technologies didn't really kick off that well, given the amount of promise they initially generated. But generative AI is something that I know for sure is that is going to be there for many, many years to come. and it is only going to keep improving and keep improving our lives, our work, etc. So it's time that we adopt this technology, learn this technology rather than keeping away from it, right? The faster we learn it, the better we get at our jobs, right?
Yeah, right. Okay. Thank you so much, Manas, for your valuable insights.
Thank you, Srinidhi. Thanks for
Yeah.
having me.